Alvin Castine on Peru Dock in Peru, New York. It's September 11th, 2019. We've just left a commemoration ceremony at the Champlain border crossing, commemorating the events of September 11th, 2001. We're here today to commemorate events that took place on September 11th, 1814, 205 years ago. The Battle of Plattsburgh occurred in Plattsburgh Bay, and many of the wounded were tended to at Crab Island. There are memorials set up there. There's a flagpole that was erected a couple of decades, or maybe at least a decade and a half ago. And there'll be a ceremony taking place very shortly, and we're awaiting transport over to Crab Island. We're across from Valcour Island, another historic area where in 1776 Benedict Arnold's fleet slowed down the British and kept them from advancing further in fall of 1776. And it was in the long scheme of things, it was a very important battle in the Revolutionary War. But today we'll be looking at the War of 1812 and what took place in and around Crab Island. It's about 8 minutes before 11 and we've arrived. People who've been watching Hometown Cable for a long time will know that we were here when that flagpole was erected. I would imagine most of these guys are American Legion 1619. I'm here, John. And when we first started coming here, Gordy Little and I, the Lion Mountain American Legion was here every year. Most of those guys have moved on. Good coverage from news media here today, thankfully.
No, I'm good. Oh, that's right. Just follow these guys. That's what I did.
Because of the logistics of getting here, it's always a small crowd, but that'll change when the new Battlefield Gateway is operational. Let's listen to John Rock.
Our veterans from the Battle of Valcour and the Battle of Plattsburgh who gave the ultimate sacrifice on October 11, 1776, and on 9/11, 1814. We're going to lay a wreath in their honor and raise the flag. Joe? Present arms.
Plattsburgh Town Supervisor Michael Cashman laying a wreath.
Detail, 4 arms. Prepare to fire. Aim. Fire. Order arms.
There's Mike Rock.
Okay, we'll proceed down to the monument now, where we'll lay a wreath in front of the grave.
All right, through the woods is the monument. The other end of the island. And here is the monument. A lot of work has been done restoring the plaques and getting this so it's much more presentable. Done a lot of work here keeping it cleared around here. This grass doesn't get mowed all by itself.
These plaques were all refaced and redone by the prison, Dannemora, Clinton Correctional. Hello. How are you today? I'm good. I can't complain. Ron, did you bring our 3x5 flag? Or no?
There's the Clinton Community College building. And across that way is the future battlefield memorial. We'll stop there and get a shot of this before we conclude this video. There'll be a new battlefield memorial that will be located closer. Right now people take off from Peru Dock, and the battlefield memorial will be a lot closer. This is something that's been added since we were here last. It's been several years since we've been here. We're faithful visitors here, Gordy Little and I, for at least a decade or more. This was the caretaker's house, the Conley family. Here's what it says. Following the Battle of Plattsburgh in 1814, the island remained in private hands until the federal government purchased it in 1891. The Army erected a flagpole in 1903 and 1906 began to transform the island into a park. The following year, the Army built a caretaker's cottage and in 1908 erected a 50-foot high granite monument. So this is a monument that was erected here back in 1908.
On the steps like we usually do, or you want us in the front here?
So
Where do you guys think would be best to photograph? In front of, right here?
Yeah, from the gate. At least it won't be any cartridges.
while we're waiting for them to get exactly where they want to be, I'm going to impose on this guy who's standing next to me, Roger Harwood. You've been here
Morning, Calvin.
You've been here
Yes.
once or twice
Been
before,
here a
have
few
you?
times, quite a few times.
Are you still devoting as much time to this place as you used to?
We still keep it clean. The trails are open. Keep it mowed.
I know the first time we walked through that trail, it was like going through a jungle, but now it's a nice,
It's
easy
pretty
walk.
open. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an easy walk. The poison ivy's down. If you stay in the trail, it's pretty easy to walk through. It's very interesting back in the woods. It goes all the way around, and then there's this trail that goes down the center of the island.
Do you clean that out too?
We clean all of that. We mow all the trails.
How do you get your mower out here?
On an old pontoon boat that you used to ride on, Calvin. It's all stripped out, and we load it at Peru Dock and then unload down there. And it takes 4 hours round trip roughly to get
I
it
can
done.
imagine, yeah.
There's quite a bit of mowing here.
And you haven't lost your devotion to Valcor either, probably.
No, that's still a passion, you know.
It's right across from your
This
house.
one and the other one, it's
So,
pretty important to us.
yeah, so you've done so much, and I think people have got to remember to thank you for everything you've done and continue to do.
This is the thank you right here. Have people come and enjoy it and appreciate what happened.
And once
And the men that are buried here.
Yes, both sides, and common graves,
Yep.
as I recall.
Yep, they certainly are.
Yeah, and once that battlefield memorial is up and running,
I'm
it'll
excited
make
about it,
It'll
yeah,
be
because,
so much easier to access this place.
It'll make it a lot easier, and some of us are getting old, so it's great to see this project coming along like that. I haven't missed one of these, and long before anybody. They used to bring the juniper in here with the veterans on it.
And Frank
And
would talk about
Frank
it.
would talk about it. Yeah, I'd come up on my boat.
The 16, well, not 16, that was the veterans out of Lion Mountain that used to come
Yep,
here.
yep. That's their picture down there, or right here. And
Okay, that's
we were here that day, that morning of the bombing in New York and Pennsylvania. We had planned to bring a dock up here and had guys with pontoon boats to bring them ashore, because that wasn't open down there. I went to Manor. They had Steve Bowman, dropped Steve Bowman out,
Okay.
and he said no day like today. So we came up.
And also for our
Okay.
veterans on
Thanks, Roger.
Valcour Island. Ready, Mike?
Thanks, John Rock.
Detail, present arms.
Supervisor Cashman again, laying a wreath.
Prepare to fire. Okay. Detail, prepare to fire. Aim. Fire! Court arms. Present arms. Order, arms. Ball out. At this time, we fall down.
Don't fall down, ball out.
Ball out. Fall down.
Hey, just hold on.
Thank everyone for coming today. And I'd like to give a minute of brief history. Mike Cashman, I'd like to say a few words.
All right.
You're not supposed to put the thumb in it.
What it means to the
Thank you.
Stay there.
to have everyone out here. Mike?
So, are we afternoon yet? We seem to be close there. So let me just reintroduce myself. My name is Michael Cashman. I'm the Plattsburgh Town Supervisor. I have to tell you, it's an honor and a privilege to get to serve in this capacity because the town is so steeped in history. Often when our local community thinks of the Battle of Plattsburgh, we think of parades. We think of other things like that. This is not a poke at the city, but it is a historical fact that there was no city of Plattsburgh during the Battle of Plattsburgh. In fact, there wasn't even a village. It was all the town of Plattsburgh. Approximately 3 years ago, the Commodore, or others know, John Rock, came to my office. I was a newly minted town supervisor, and John said, "Do you know the story of Crab Island?" I said, "John, I can reaffirm that I do know the story of Crab Island. I know the good work that you've been doing over on the island." He said, "But there's this dream of creating this park." And I said, "John, give me a year to get my feet underneath me as a new town supervisor." And I can tell you that John returned the date of the year, and we began to roll up our sleeves and begin to have some conversations about what is now dubbed the Battlefield Memorial Gateway. The town of Plattsburgh owns a piece of property. It's the old jetties that were associated with the Plattsburgh Air Force Base. That's how we actually got some of the fuel up to that area. These jetties are going to be transformed into a beautiful gateway along with a parcel of land that is going to celebrate the history of our local area. It is, as John likes to say, about the past all the way up to the present. We are standing on the first part of what we have designated the Triangle of History. If you look backwards across the way, you will see the location, and that is the first part of the gateway. It stretches over here and connects, and then it will connect over to the tip of Valcour Island, which represents the American Revolution. If you stretch that back to the gateway, it has created a triangle, the Triangle of History. Lake Champlain has so much to offer as far as it goes telling the American story. No one, and I mean no one, has done it better than the American Legion over the years. When I became supervisor, I knew that there would be times that I would like to find a way to express my deepest appreciation and gratitude. So I had something minted. It's a limited edition, and I would like Ron Poland and John Rock to come forward. We don't give keys to the town of Plattsburgh away. We give tokens of appreciation. And this is a token of appreciation for what you have done for the legacy of these veterans, but more importantly, for those that will serve in the future from day on and on. So I'm going to present this to you.
Thank you, Mike.
In the post. So hold on to this as a recognition. So I'll give this to
Should point out that Post 20 is
It's a
also
real privilege and honor
represented
to
here.
accept this award on behalf of American Legion Post 1619, and also all the other legions in the county. Also, everyone has pitched in this effort and a tireless project, and has stuck with it through thick and thin through 18 years. This will be our 18th year that we're out here now. And like Mike said, the vision is very large, and it's a piece of untold history out here. But the main thing is laying right behind us are 50 American veterans who should never be forgotten for the ultimate sacrifice they made. Some of these men on those ships were only 15, 16 years old. And this is a real privilege and honor to accept this on behalf of the American Legion. Thank you very much.
Can I just ask one last thing? Today has dual meaning. Today is dual meaning. We have September 11th of years many ago, and more recently. I'd like to just pay honor to those that also passed on September 11th today. Would you please join me in a moment of silence for the folks that were lost in the towers? Thank you. God bless our troops.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We don't have one down here.
You mean the bill?
Yes, where it is, huh? Yes,
We'll now move to the location of the future home of the Battlefield Memorial Gateway. We're going to head down to the end and get a shot across at Crab Island, and that'll be how we'll end our program. It's about 3 miles, a little over 3.5 miles from the Peru dock to here. A lot of volunteers have put in a lot of hours clearing this out. There's a lot more work to be done, but it's a start. And this is where that gateway will be located. And across the way is that monument where we were just at for the dedication. So it'll be a lot closer trip for people coming from this area. So that'll wrap up Hometown Cable's 2019 look at the Crab Island Memorial Ceremony. September 11th, 2019. Thanks for watching, and for those of you who support viewer-supported local television, our only support is when a viewer or an organization steps up and says thank you and contributes to keep this programming coming. In the meantime, thank you for watching.